Hey folks, I didn't have a whole lot planned for this Monday. I knew it was going to be cloudy, but not cool. I did know there were a couple of packages arriving. I was surprised I was getting two because one of them I knew what was coming. The other, I didn't recognize the tracking number. It wasn't something that I thought I had generated. So just said, well, let's see what happens. And sure enough, a little while ago, uh, drop off from USPS, the afternoon truck, right to my doorstep, two very large boxes. So let's take a look. Well, this is the box I was expecting. From Trumpeter, 1/32 scale, Fairy Swordfish, Mark II. Now, if you follow my channel, you might know that I'm actually building a Fairy Swordfish in 1/48 scale, the Tamiya kit. Why would I buy a bigger one? Do you even need to ask? Actually, the reason I don't usually double up on, well, that's not true. I certainly do when it comes to SE5As. But that being accepted, I don't usually buy multiple models of one particular air type, but I've fallen in love with the Fairy Swordfish. Just incredible aircraft, incredible crews, pilots, observers, gunners that manned those aircraft during World War II. The backstory is amazing. I'm not going to open up this big box right now. I'll do a 2-minute box review when I get around to building this kit, which may be sometime in 2027 or so. I've got a couple things lined up for the rest of the year and probably next year that are going to fill the ticket. Okay, so this is the one I knew was coming. Let's take a look at the other box. The unexpected, very large box that arrived as well. Okay, I've got to say I was surprised, maybe even shocked. I haven't had a box this big arrive since I, in a fit of madness a number of years ago, ordered a 1/48 scale. Yes, 1/48 scale German U-boat type 7C, which will never be built, but that's another story. So this huge box comes from Tom Shree out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Tom participated in the Aurora group build, and we've exchanged some messages and stuff, and I was shocked. I mean, pleasantly shocked. This box is huge. I don't think it's a German U-boat. That box was even bigger, but let's take a look and see what came inside. I'm going to open up this box and then show whatever's in here without going through. I've already cut open the top there. So let's take a look. I am a bit overwhelmed, to put it mildly. There are 5 kits in the box. Goodness gracious. 2 lovely notes from Tom. Really appreciate what he wrote in the notes. And I'll go through these kits one by one. Okay, the first is an Avro biplane, 1911, from Lifelike Products, Inc., 1600 Union Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland. I'm going to have to look this up on ScaleMates. I mean, in terms of something about the company. I've heard of the Avro airplanes, pre-World War I biplane. It doesn't show the scale on the box, but it looks like it's about 1/48 scale. Tom put a note in saying that he had sent the same kit to Charlie Mack in the hopes that Charlie and I would do a buddy build on this plane. which sounds like an excellent idea. So Charlie, we gotta juggle around our busy schedules and put this on the list. Should be great fun. I'm thinking, oh, I don't know, maybe sometime in the 1960s, maybe 70s. This kit's been around a while. Looks like some of the supports and stuff, I'll have to maybe prime apart, but I don't think anything's broken. Should be great fun. Okay, that's the first one. Charlie, I'll be in touch. Well, here's the famous Tiger Moth, one of the go-to aircraft of the Royal Air Force shortly after World War I, served in the 20s and 30s, 132nd scale from Revell. Also was a stand-in for lots of real World War I airplanes in movies that were made, starting with, that I recall, in terms of the first one I ever saw, the Blue Max. There were a few Tiger Moths in there, emulating or subbing for other types of aircraft, but pretty cool kit. Yeah, I think Tom knows I love biplanes. Well, actually, he made reference to it in a really kind note. So that's the first one. I'm not going to open up boxes. It would be overwhelming. There's just way too much stuff here. So this is box number 2. Wow, we're talking about some vintage, or at least for me, rare model kits. Nichimo, the Tachikawa Ki-9 Spruce. Again, a plane I know nothing about, except it's a Japanese biplane. So presumably from the interwar period. Looks like it's sort of maybe late 1920s, early 1930s heritage. Okay, very cool. This is 1/48 scale. Now this one I'm more familiar with, the famous SPAD 13. Moreover, it's from a series that Revell did back in the 60s and 70s. They produced 3 1/28 scale World War I fighters. The SPAD 13, the Sopwith Camel, and the Fokker triplane. I had the Fokker triplane, Werner Voss's, and the Sopwith Camel, Billy Barker's, but I never had the SPAD, which I think they made a version for Frank Luke, and then reissued it for another ace. This is Hat in the Ring Squadron. I can see the decal markings there. So I'm very familiar with this model. It was the one that I did not have as a junior high school student, but I built the other two and they were fun builds. Good quality kits, especially for the era that they were produced. And finally, Hasegawa 1/32nd scale Boeing F-4B-4 U.S. Navy fighter bomber. Wow, interwar period. Yeah. Well, another really cool biplane. I might have to restock up on some rigging wire and rigging line, but that's okay. These are all going to be just really, really cool builds. I will do unboxings of each when I get closer to building each one. I think the Avro biplane, the small one of the 5 here, will be first on the agenda. Hey, Tom, I can't thank you enough. What an absolutely generous and wonderful thing to do. Completely took me by surprise. I appreciate the kind words, and I appreciate the lovely gesture. And these will, I think it's going to be time for some more shelves and display cases. That will have to happen anyway. Okay, So that was what was in the day's mail. What a treat. I'll do some still pictures at the end of this now.